I never thought a night out could unravel the threads of my carefully woven life. It started innocently enough, a friend's birthday party in a lavish penthouse overlooking the city. Laughter echoed through the air as people swirled around me, clutching their glasses like lifebuoys in a sea of merriment. I wore my best smile, but inside I was adrift, trying to navigate the turbulent waters of my emotions. My husband, Mark, couldn't make it. He had to work late again, a familiar refrain in our lives. As I stood by the bar, pretending to enjoy the company, I felt a pang of loneliness that deepened with each passing hour. A cocktail here, a shot there, and soon I was caught in the haze of intoxication. The world around me blurred, and my inhibitions melted away like ice in the summer sun. Then I saw him, Jason, my ex-boyfriend. The one who had once held my heart in his hands and then shattered it with his absence. He walked in with that same confident swagger, a magnetic presence that pulled me in like gravity. My heart raced, not just from the alcohol but from the memories that flooded my mind. Laughter, kisses, the heat of his body against mine. Seeing him again was like a forbidden fruit, and I was ravenous. As the night wore on, Jason and I exchanged glances that lingered a heartbeat too long. The chemistry was palpable, a dangerous electricity crackling between us. I tried to remind myself of the vows I had made to Mark, the life we had built together, but each drink stripped away another layer of restraint. When Jason finally approached me, it was like stepping into a dream I never wanted to wake from. "You look amazing," he said, his voice smooth and intoxicating. I could feel the warmth of his gaze and the memories of our past swirling around us. In that moment, I was transported back to a time when we were young and reckless, when love was a flame that burned brightly without regard for consequences. The conversation flowed easily, the laughter spilling out between us like a long-forgotten melody. I forgot about the ache in my heart and the weight of my marriage, lost in the warmth of nostalgia. He leaned closer, whispering sweet nothings that sent shivers down my spine. I was captivated, unable to resist the pull of the past. Before I knew it, we were on the balcony, the city lights flickering like stars beneath us. The air was charged with tension, and in that moment, all I wanted was him. I leaned in, and he met me halfway. Our lips crashed together, a collision of desire that set my entire being aflame. It was intoxicating, the taste of longing and regret mingling in a passionate embrace. But just as quickly as it began, the moment shattered when reality came crashing back. I pulled away, breathless and wide-eyed, the enormity of what I had just done hitting me like a freight train. "Jason, we can't." "Why not?" he challenged, his voice low and sultry. "We're both adults. We know what we want." What I wanted was to forget the life I had built with Mark, the promises we had made to each other. But the weight of my conscience pressed down heavily on my chest, and I realized how far I had strayed from my vows. "I'm married," I said, struggling to keep my voice steady. "And is he here?" Jason smirked, his confidence only growing. "You don't want him right now. You want this." He moved closer, and I could feel the heat radiating off him, intoxicating me once more. My heart raced, torn between desire and the painful guilt that surged within me. We shared more stolen kisses that night, drowning in each other while the party roared on behind us. Each kiss felt like a betrayal, yet I craved him like a drug, unable to resist the high he gave me. The world faded away, leaving only the two of us, locked in a dance of passion and nostalgia. The night ended too soon, and when I woke the next morning, the sun spilled into my apartment like a harsh reminder of my choices. I glanced at my phone, my heart sinking as I saw the numerous texts from Mark. He had been worried, but I couldn't face him yet. How could I explain what I had done? The taste of Jason still lingered on my lips, an echo of the passion we had shared, but the guilt gnawed at my insides like a ravenous beast. Days turned into weeks, and I thought that I could put that night behind me. But every time I saw Jason at social gatherings, every time he brushed against me, the memories surged back, raw and vivid. He was persistent, often texting me, asking to meet up for drinks or coffee. I always declined, yet my resolve weakened with each invitation. Mark sensed something was off. I could see the concern in his eyes, the way he looked at me like he was trying to piece together a puzzle he didn't understand. I hated myself for keeping secrets from him, but the thought of confessing my infidelity made my stomach churn. It was easier to play the part of the loving wife, even if my heart was still tangled in a web of past desires. One evening, as I was preparing dinner, my phone buzzed with a new message from Jason. "Meet me at the Grove at 8? Just to talk. I miss you." My heart raced, the familiar thrill and guilt surging together like a tidal wave. I stood there, my fingers hovering over the screen, wrestling with my conscience. Mark walked into the kitchen, his presence grounding me. He smiled, but there was a hint of something deeper lurking behind his eyes. "Everything okay?" he asked, concern lacing his voice. I forced a smile, shoving my phone into my pocket, the weight of my secret pressing down on me. "Yeah, just thinking about work," I lied, the words tasting bitter on my tongue. As the clock struck 8, I stood at the window, staring out into the night. Part of me longed to go to Jason, to give in to the intoxicating pull of our past. But another part of me screamed for loyalty, for the love that Mark and I had built together. In that moment of conflict, I made my decision. I sent Jason a text. "I can't. I'm sorry." My heart pounded, and I felt a rush of relief wash over me. But the ache of betrayal still lingered, a haunting reminder of what I had almost succumbed to. Later that night, as I lay in bed beside Mark, I could feel the weight of my choices pressing down on me. He turned toward me, his eyes searching mine. "You know you can talk to me about anything, right?" he said softly. I felt a lump in my throat, but I couldn't bring myself to say the words. Instead, I nodded, forcing a smile. In that moment, I realized that love wasn't just about passion and desire. It was about the choices we make every day, the moments of integrity we cling to in the face of temptation. I had been given a second chance, and I was determined not to let it slip away. And so, I wrapped my arms around Mark, feeling the warmth of his body against mine. I made a silent promise to myself, to him, and to our love. I would no longer let the shadows of my past dictate my present. The weight of secrets is heavy, but the lightness of honesty is worth every ounce of courage it takes to embrace it. In that moment, I chose love, and I chose my husband. Thanks for joining me on this story. You won't want to miss what happens next. If you loved this story and want to dive into more thrilling tales, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Join our growing community where we share stories that ignite the imagination and spark real connections. Let's keep this journey going together. Subscribe now, and I'll see you in the next one.